doesn't love a rotator? These are some of the biggest and heaviest recovery vehicles that are out there on the highways. This is the 1150 down here, and it's a DCP tooling of a 50-ton rotator by Century. And then in the back, we have an IXO tooling of a rotator. I'm not exactly sure which one. We'll have to open it up and see. These are still available. Currently, I don't have any of the Diecast Promotions rotators. They've done them both with this 36-inch sleeper and also as day cab, so it's a little shorter chassis, the same box, but it's a day cab, and they're all on 389 chassis. The IXO back here is on a 359 cabin chassis, both 3 axles in the back. The IXO, though, is still available, and it is IXO TRO 31.22. Peterbilt 359 Wrecker. These are still available on my website, so you can order them right now. And let's go on and open them up and compare these two vehicles. I've compared others. I've done quite a few comparisons here lately because it seems like you guys really enjoy them. So check out the playlist with the link at the end of this video. First big note here, guys. The IXOs normally come in a display case for the tractors, but this one here, probably because of its size, they put in a clamshell like this with plastic and some protectors in it in the box instead of a plastic display case. They've done this with the buses as well, so it's not unexpected. But guys, since you're watching this video, I know that you're fans of classic trucks and the iconic companies that built America's highways. Now, you can get a high-quality, soft jersey t-shirt every month featuring vintage logos from legendary trucking companies. Ones that help shape the industry but are no longer around. That's exactly what you get with the Trucking Fallen Flags T-Shirt of the Month Club. Each month, you receive a comfortable, beautifully designed shirt that lets you celebrate the rich history of trucking while feeling great in premium jersey material. It's the perfect way to keep these forgotten companies alive. Join now with the link down below. And here they are out of the box. The first big difference, besides the most obvious, is the scale. This one is in 64 scale by DCP, and the IXO is in 43rd scale. The next big difference, you'll see, this one has a 36-inch sleeper, and this one has a 60-inch flat top. And then the other major difference. This is a Peterbilt 359 by IXO. It's a 1980 359. And then this one is like a 2017, 2018 Peterbilt 389. Now, the 389 has been canceled, but it's still much more modern for a cab than this one is. But are they really that much different? These guys were $120 to $150 a piece from DCP. This one here is $85. Now, when we're done, you tell me which one you thought was worth the actual price. The DCP over here, it is all die-cast. There are obviously like chrome parts, these exhaust stacks, mirrors, headlights, this typical stuff we're used to in plastic is on plastic on this one. But the cab, the sleeper, the box, the booms, they're all die-cast, so is the chassis. This IXO here, the cab here, the cab only, the cab and the hood part is die-cast. The sleeper is plastic, the chassis is die-cast, and the whole wrecker body is in plastic. Well, being bigger makes sense to be a little more plastic. Now, what else is different? Do they work? Yes. The Diecast Promotions one, it goes up. Oops, put that down. Back up. The boom, it does go up and it does rotate. Also, the underreach, it telescopes out and it folds down. But the underreach does, and it goes down and up a little bit. Also, the rear feet go down. They also will extend out a little bit. There's two different kinds of rear feet for these trucks, and this one's got the ones that extend only a little bit. The fronts, they also go down and they extend out. So, yes, they do. However, if you put some weight on it, they're not going to actually stabilize the truck. Trust me, I've done it. It won't. Go see my video on suburban towing and you'll see. The cables actually spool out on this diecast promotion one. And even this little one down here, it'll winch out. These do telescope out themselves, but again, you'll see, without being very careful with your winches, you will snag them. They'll only go as far as the winch, and then you got to winch them out again, and just like the real ones. Pain, pain, pain. But it does look cool, and you can hook it up to a truck, and it'll actually hold a truck up. I have done that. Just don't count on the stabilizers to stabilize it. But what about the IXO over here? Nice detail. The front stabilizers don't go down. The rear stabilizers, they don't go down. And then, when you get this truck, these chains are just kind of hanging there, but it has these things that are hooked into these lower hooks, just like you would the real one. You hook up the cables. That's the proper way. You hook them up so that they don't dangle in the breeze on the winches. That's okay. That's normal. So, but be careful when you try to pop them out because they're not exactly easy to get out. Now, the cables, and this is molded plastic. It's not an actual cable. There's no cable to spool out. You can see up here on the reels, or on the drums up here, that there is molded in cable, but no actual cable on it. But the boom does go up. It does not, however, telescope out. It will rotate here, but note, it wants to hit the back of the sleeper because this is a great big sleeper and there's just not enough room there. You can carefully get it past that, and I do mean carefully, you can get it past there. But you have to be careful with it. It bumps into it. They do have light bars. Both had light bars. This one has amber all molded. That one has the white clear light bar, which is more common today. But again, this is a 1980 truck. They didn't have these clear LEDs. They had lenses and rotating beacon lights. So the bars are different. This is an older truck. It's got marker lights, which, you know, tow guys always put more lights than normal. And then here, the underreach in the back. It folds down, and that's all it does, and it'll fold up. It does not do anything else. It just folds down. But I do believe, and we'll look at it at the end, and we'll see if what we can do with a truck and put a truck on there. I think that would be kind of cool. But the rotator, it does rotate both ways. You can see it does. It picks up and it goes. So it'll do that. And I don't think you could put a truck on the hook, but they don't haul them that way. The way they haul them is on the underreach anyway. So that's not a problem. Now when you put them together, you close it up that way, and then boom. Both trucks ride on soft rubber tires. Underneath, we'll look at bottoms. Detail-wise, both have pretty nice detailed chassis. I've got drive shafts on both of them, air tanks, fuel tanks here, def tank, air tanks, battery boxes, all the detail underneath on both of them that are really quite similar. Neither one of them has a working suspension, but it has a molded, detailed looking suspension. This one has the modern day lift axle, which is kind of steerable for the pusher. This one has an old school tri-axle design where it's just a drop down axle on air ride. Different style fuel tanks because of the different sleeper. They got bigger tanks than this guy. Both run on a float style front wheel instead of the standard truck wheel. All duals except for this guy's got a float on the lift axle. Really a nice detailed underside. They've done a good job. They defined out all the toolboxes on the side, as did IXO. All on the side. Interiors. Well, we'll turn them just a little bit so we can see the interiors here. On to the front. You still can't see them. Oh, that figures. We've got mirrors on both sides. Got the photo etched windshield wipers here, and again, my love-hate. They can flick off, so be careful with them. But they got seats, dashboard, and steering wheel all in black there. This one here has got them all in gray on the DCP. Got two rectangular style air horns up on the IXO, individual pieces for the roof lights, and a visor there. Individual visor, got four round style air horns and molded in roof lights on the DCP. There's also two beacons up here with strobes so that you would have a little more light shining there. This cab does not have chrome stacks, chrome mirrors on both, chrome grill. It's got the Peterbilt logo tampoed on both. This one has the bug deflector. It's chrome plated instead of clear colored, but it is there. Box style air cleaners on the side, whereas this has got the turbo round style air cleaners on the side. LED 389 headlights and rectangular quad headlights, old sealed beams on the 359. We've also got a nice grille on both of them. Add license plates down here. This one's got a California plate, not sure plate, and something else. Nice looking little truck here. A lot of detail. He added Peterbilt logos on these little fender covers, which fill in the gap under the headlights. This truck does not have those. No tampos. Really, overall, I like both of them. These guys also put the little corner marker lights, which were very common back in the day, so that people could see, the drivers could see the corners of their truck. Out of that cab, it's actually hard to know where the corner is. You can see where the front of your truck is, but it's hard to actually know where the corners are because you really can't see over this fender thanks to the hood. Man, nice trucks. I'm happy with them. I would be very happy to have both of these in my collection. You got a grab bar and a door on this sleeper. There isn't one on this sleeper. Does not have steerable front end on the IXO. DCP does. DCP also has an opening hood, but the IXO doesn't. One last thing. Let's put them to a truck. Paying homage to my last video, how about we look at the IXO's Mac F model cab? How about that? Sits right down on there. Perfect. With a little bit of a lift. Now, you would need to extend it in reality to tow because while it's sitting on there, the boom is right into the windshields. That's not good. But the model doesn't actually extend. However, it still looks pretty good just that way, even though it is a little close. Maybe it would be better instead of a cab over to put a conventional in front behind this. We'll do that here in just a second. Now let's look at take the top shelf Mac cab. By the way, you can see this video with the link in the playlist below and put it over here. Now there's one little problem. This doesn't stay up high enough to actually hold the truck up off the ground. So it looks like it's just kind of sitting there. Bummer. The piston does not do its job. Oh wait, there's not really a piston. It's just a piece of metal in there. So we don't have it lifting up. That's no good. DCP, you need to do a little bit better on that job. But there we go. They do actually would look good hooked up to each other, towing them that way. Now let's go on and get a conventional that I have over here and see what it looks like behind that truck. And this is the Kenworth T600. I did a short on this truck, and I think I did a video on it. I did another video on this truck where I talked about the Anteater, which this is what it was nicknamed. Let's see if it looks better hooked up to this big old wrecker back here. Now, that does look a little better, even though it's still a little too close to that hood. IXO, you could have done that a little bit better, but for what it is, a shelf model, the IXO is a great looking truck. The DCP, again, for a shelf model, is a really great looking truck. Being 64th guy, I really like this one. However, I have been seriously considering switching to the 43rd because the trucks are bigger, they're easier to see, they're easier to handle, and guess what? They're cheaper. $125 to $150, $85. And then $50 to $60 for a cab versus $65 to $100 for a DCP. So I think I'm just going to stick with the wonderful 43rds. I think that's the route I'm going to start going. Also, they're not making as many, so it's easier to keep up with what's being produced. Not to mention, there's a whole bunch of vintage trucks that aren't being done in 64th. The FLA Freightliners, the FLC Freightliners, the old trucks. T600 that is nice. Even the Ford Aeromax, which I'm going to do a video on the Ford Aeromax. I did one before on the Ertl Aeromax, but I'm going to do one on the IXO Aeromax soon. The Ford Aeromax 120. It'll be this truck. Really a cool truck. Ford, you blew it, but that's coming soon. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to be back with that Aeromax video soon.